Rest easy, patrons and viewers. I'm hard at work on a bona fide episode of Look at This. I'm not quite ready to spoil what I'll be covering, but it does come from this wacky little genre of media that you may not know about, and it's called video games. And if there's one thing I'm not very good at, it's doing my own makeup.
How the fuck does this even work?
And I'm also not very good at video games, so while I take a breather and work up the fortitude to actually finish the game that I'm covering, I want to take a second and talk about a series that you don't actually need to be good at to enjoy, and that's Animal Crossing. I won't give a full background since most of my circle have some vague idea of what Animal Crossing is, but in short, it's a Nintendo series where you play a human character in a town full of animal villagers. You fish, garden, make a home, buy clothes, make friends, serve coffee, do this, and countless other things in a world that changes in real time. At the end of 2018, Nintendo announced that there would be a new Animal Crossing for the Nintendo Switch coming in 2019, and as of this recording, they've said nothing else on the subject, so it's up to me to fill in the blanks. I mean, it's not, but... Dear Jingle, I hope you're doing well. I know it's a little early for a Christmas list, but I also know that game development takes time, so I thought I'd get ahead of the game, see what I did there, and offer some suggestions for the new Animal Crossing. This year's been a challenge since I've been trying to save money. Becoming the person you want to be is expensive. I'm using the last of my Christmas gift card credit to pick up Animal Crossing when it comes out, so if it's not too much to ask, I'd love it if you could pull some strings and make any one of these things a reality. Really, any of them. Even the stupid one about Desert Island Escape. Anyway, here's my list, in no particular order. 1. The stupid one about Desert Island Escape. Oh god, please bring back Desert Island Escape. 2. Skin tone and face. I won't linger on this one because it's one of the most requested features that's been absent in the series until Happy Home Designer for the 3DS. Up until then, your character's been pale white by default, and you can't get a darker skin tone unless you make your character stand outside during the warm parts of the year for hours. Or you could wear a Mii mask, but then you can't wear hats or accessories. Happy Home Designer gave you a nice little menu, but I know a lot of players like me appreciate the randomness that comes from Rover asking you questions at the start to determine your facial features. They could maybe do both. Arbitrary questions already determine your starting hair color, so why not your skin color as well? They could give you the option of changing it with a tanning bed at the salon or something. Just give us that option early. But all that is pretty convoluted just to keep a mildly entertaining aspect of the game intact, so really the character menu is the way to go. 3. Smart Villagers. I love interacting with the adorable animal villagers in the game, but sometimes it feels like they're a little off. Like one time, Ken gave me a red bar shirt, and a few days later he said he needed something new for his wardrobe. So I gave him the red bar shirt back, and he acted like it was some brand new fashionable thing he'd never heard of. Or sometimes a villager will ask for super rare fish or bugs, and then get upset when you don't deliver that same day. I don't know, I guess I'd like it if the villagers were a little more understanding of your limits and perceptive to your antics. Oh, and since we were just talking about Ken, did you know that Kentucky Fried Chicken is an anagram for Ken tried chickeny fuck? The things you learn. 4. Local co-op. I first got into the series with Animal Crossing City Folk for the Wii. My brother, my sister, and I all took turns playing for a whole day, and I fell in love with the game. But the fact that we needed to take turns was pretty annoying. Games like Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. Are really good testaments to how local co-op isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So why not let us experience that with a game like Animal Crossing that's so socially driven anyway? I'd love to see like a split screen feature where you have two players who are in the same town get to play together, or where they're on different towns that are on the same console. I would love any of that. Options never hurt.
Actually, having options does hurt. What's so wrong with single player? It's just a bunch of players doing their own thing, not hurting anyone. Why are you trying to force diversity by giving more options? If you don't like it, then don't play video games. Honestly, it just feels like pandering at this point, if not the precursors to full-on single-player genocide.
5. Intuitive online multiplayer. I'm super happy that Nintendo has decided to do away with the 2 friend code system as being the only means of adding people on your Switch. But I'd love to be able to play Animal Crossing with people online without having to type in a bunch of digits, waiting for confirmation, and having to quit the game's online mode just to manage all of that. It's a lot of extra steps. Plus, the New Leaf online experience is littered with other problems, so why don't we knock out a few at once? Let's make lobbies like the Smash Bros. Battle Arena system, where the host puts out a public code that other people can join. And a quick, "This player wants to join, do you accept?" pop-up would help keep things orderly. If there's some equivalent to Tortimer Island where players can just do minigames and fish, maybe have lobbies specifically for that. Maybe give players like a no griefing option that lets people visit and shop and talk to villagers and all that fun stuff without changing the town's state, because nobody likes getting their stuff torn to pieces by randos. And while we're at it, I'd love to be able to trade items with other players in a trade window instead of having to drop them on the ground. Come in.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh hey, I'm surviving.
Thank goodness for that. Hey, I brought you something. Down with Love.
Wow, awesome! I love that movie. You want to watch it?
Yeah, here.
No, yeah, you can't do that here.
Oh, no, hold on. Maybe if I...
No, see, it's my home, so...
No, okay, so do you want to...
Right, yeah, good idea. Six, easier ways to get furniture. In the first few weeks of playing Animal Crossing, it can be a real pain to get the furniture you like. The shop only has a few pieces at a time, and they seem completely random. And all the other ways to get furniture aren't much more helpful. It can be a while before you get a dresser or something to store things, let alone anything that doesn't clash terribly. This can be alleviated in a few ways, like by having shops stock up with the series you tend to buy often. Maybe there can be some tiers of furniture that become available for mail order as the shop upgrades. Right at the start, you could put some basics in the catalog to get players started. There's a huge number of players for whom the home designing aspect is really core to the Animal Crossing experience, and that's a fact that Nintendo can't deny because they made a spin-off game called Happy Home Designer. So why not make your home designers happy? Stop gating people from expressing themselves through furniture! 7. Easier ways to get town projects. While the gating kept me from getting into the home designing part of Animal Crossing, what I did get into was designing the town. I love making paths with flowers, trees, and of course, town projects, but they're so hard to get. Depending on the title, they're either completely fixed projects in fixed locations, or they only become options at the random whim of your villagers depending on their personality. This system is garbage, and literally anything would improve it. 8. Varied special NPCs. You know how when you go to the post office, Pelly or Phyllis will attend to you depending on the time of day? I'd love to see more variety like this with the special NPCs. The museum is open 24/7, yet we never see Blathers or Celeste off their feet. Maybe have somebody sub in for them on certain days, times, or randomly if they get sick. It's a small thing that'd keep things fresh and interesting. But in addition to that, I'd love it if the special NPCs weren't necessarily the same in every single town. Like, for instance, everyone has a clothing store, but maybe someone has Mabel as its proprietor while someone else has Sable or LaBelle. Reese and Cyrus are pretty inseparable, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't introduce some more characters to add variety. A thing that bugged me about New Leaf is that everyone's main street was more or less the same. Retail always looked the same inside and out, and varying town halls and train stations were super tough to get. I don't know, I like things that further the idea that when you go to visit someone else's town, you're going to a brand new place, and seeing a normal that's different from your own, rather than just a slightly rearranged set of the same constants. Anything like that is a plus in my book. 9. Reliable hybrids. There has to be a way to get those gorgeous hybrid flowers without having to perform a goddamn pansy seance to earn the random number generator's favor every single day. Here's the thing, I don't dislike luck-driven elements in games as a whole, but I don't like when I'm trying to give my town a certain look and I have to jump through all these hoops and I have to sacrifice real estate just for a shot-in-the-dark chance at getting pink roses. I just want a system that's a little more reliable and consistent. Look, once the store is fully upgraded, make a single hybrid available for sale from Leaf. That's it. Then you can keep the convoluted summoning ritual and I can go about my day. In 4 months when orange tulips show up again. 10. Online messaging and gifting. Animal Crossing truly rekindled my interest in written letters to communicate with people. There's something really special about getting a surprise letter from someone, especially when it has a little gift inside. So in Animal Crossing, let us do this with our friends when they're offline. Look, I'd love an instant message system just like the competing game platforms have too, but at least let us have letters. Don't force us to learn how to write them and manage an inbox if we can't make the best use of it. Animal Crossing is the kind of game that it's hard to catch friends playing at the same time once you've been at it for a few months. Over time, playing becomes a 30 to 60 minutes per day activity, so there's bound to be some time discrepancies when people play. I want a way to interact with my friends and reap those online benefits without having to constantly coordinate with one another. 11. A fun, intuitive use for Amiibo. Seriously, I have all of these damn things, give me a use for them! The New Leaf Amiibo features were weird and not super engaging, though props for how you could make any of your card villagers move into your town. That was a smart move, please keep that. Also, I can't find any of my Animal Crossing Amiibo cards, and the idea that I won't be able to find them by the time the game comes out gives me real-life anxiety. Please send help. 12. More personality types. More villager personalities means a hefty amount of extra work for the writers and for the translators, so they don't need to get crazy. But hearing the same quip 2 or 3 times verbatim from your villagers is not very fun. Right now, there are 8. Bump that up to 10 to make me a very happy squeesh. Give us 12 and we've got one for every astrological sign. Blueberry is Cancer. Or we could go full Myers-Briggs with 16 for double the fun. Happy writing! 13.
Bigger towns.
Towns are already a good size, I'm just greedy.
14. Designs for everything. I think the amount of time I've spent in the design window of Animal Crossing accounts for nearly half of my playtime. It's so much fun. So let's get crazy. Custom pants, shoes, masks, exteriors, custom flowers.
I mean, I'm joking, but it would solve my hybrid problem. Just a thought.
15. Previews for customization. Why doesn't Cyrus show you what things look like before you craft them? Seriously, what the fuck? 16. A less exploitable stock market. If you have enough friends checking their turnip prices, or you use Reddit, turnips can make you get filthy rich, filthy quick.
But like, some people have too much money.
I know tons of people who don't find games like The Sims fun unless they can use cheat codes for infinite money. And for some, the turnip market is something they do in order to overcome an obstacle keeping them from having fun. Players who want the creative stuff without the money management aspect.
I understand and even empathize with this on some level. It's virtual money that comes from an infinite source and doesn't affect other players, so nothing really is lost if the stock market system doesn't change as it stands, but I just think it's a little too easy to get money that way.
Maybe if they put a cap on how many turnips you can buy per week, so people aren't multiplying millions by millions? I don't know. There's a reason this one's pretty low on my wish list. 17. Less exploitable perfect fruit.
This is just here to establish that my hands are not clean of exploiting elements of Animal Crossing in order to earn extra bells. Those golden pears have given me so much power.
18. Marry an NPC.
Nobody likes when their favorite villager moves away, so why not let one of them stay by asking them to marry you? We can go full Harvest Moon with this game if we want.
Sure, we could keep the special NPCs off limits.
Sorry, Isabel Stans, but look on the bright side. You've still got Google image search.
But you could finally have Stitches be your husband for real. The game doesn't need to go so far as to give you children, because it's not crazy. There's also a lot of potential for the game to treat this progressively as well, by having villagers with varying orientations. Mott is definitely bi, you cannot change my mind.
I know Nintendo's a little behind when it comes to inclusivity, so it probably won't happen, but I can dream.
Before I fold up this letter, place it in a sealed envelope, and repeat the sacred jingle incantation that will ensure the Switch Fairy retrieves it from underneath my pillow while I sleep tonight, I want you to know that even if none of my wishes come true, I'll probably still buy Animal Crossing, because I understand that quality is not something I'm owed, and the looming rain cloud of capitalism will ensure that video games will continue to stay as subpar as profitably allowed. Love... Luke.
Now this video may have been a little bit of self-indulgence and wishful thinking, but I think whether we're talking about games, TV shows, or even our own lives, it's good to know what we want. It builds perspective on what you already have, and helps you achieve your goals. Much like Nintendo, I am making a product for public consumption. So topics like inclusivity and value proposition are all good things to know, and everything adds up to help make this show even better. Okay, fine, I'll go work on an actual episode.
I could get more time. I wish I could make up my mind. I wish I could get more time before it pulls me under and buries me alive.